Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Sword Art Online, Alternative Gun Gale Online anime episode review. This one's going to be for episode 11, which is called Psycho Llenn. And yeah, second last episode, there's only one to go after this, so it all finishes next week, at least until they potentially confirm a second season. I actually don't really know if the source material goes too far beyond whatever it's up to, but this episode specifically, I liked it in terms of just like this was like full on action, and it's been the way the show's been for the last while. I've definitely felt that we've been a little lacking in the character department, because I think the setup going into this second squad jam of just what Pito Hui is kind of willing to do if she's killed by someone else and loses, means that we're still waiting for some big resolution, and the fact that they don't finish the action in this episode to sort of leave a lot of space in the last episode to resolve everything has me a little worried that they may go too much in the action in the next episode and not leave enough time for character stuff. Now, there are two ways they could go about this. One is that they just have their fight, there is a victor, and they resolve the character stuff afterwards in real life or in the game, or a combination of both. Or they do a lot of the character stuff during the fight, allowing them to have a kind of fight, not that's where like someone's life isn't on the line and they just have their fight, we get a winner, and then I still think they're going to have to do some stuff outside of the game, and it's just about like how long are they going to draw out. I suppose the ending of Squad Jam 2 is, I suppose, the big thing going into next episode. They covered a lot here. You got to see like Pito Hui have her kind of Darth Vader moment, her kind of Darth Maul moment with the red kind of photon sword. Really cool sequences, just seeing how, again, brutal and just uncaring she is, and everyone who kind of encounters her kind of notes that about her, that she doesn't just like get the kill, which is part of the game. She takes joy in it and sort of torturing people as she kind of kills them. And at this point it's just her and M left, plus some of the other teams left, and we get to see the gymnastics club team get taken out as well. And I think this was an aspect of the episode that for me it was kind of like, okay, I get what they're going for here. I think they're spending a little bit too much on this given what we're ultimately leading towards, that being that Llenn is sort of kind of loses her confidence at this moment, isn't really sure what to do here. Like, she's so invested in like the seriousness of what's going on here that she actually doesn't know what to do. She's just seen how good Pito Hui is and is sort of paused, and so the gymnastics club girls kind of suicide run at her. They all get taken out. Fukuzero does the same, and you can see kind of Pito Hui sort of torturing Fukuzero, and it gives Pito Hui, because like Fukuzero ties like Lenn's shoelaces to one of her rocket launchers, or grenade launchers, meaning that she has to just sit there and watch this happen while figuring out how she feels about all of this. And what sparks Llenn into action is just her making the decision that, like, in a way, she to be as good as she can be in the fight sort of has to put aside the seriousness of what's going on here. That, if she gets herself killed, that's her own fault. I have to go in here and just get done what I need to get done, and that is killing her, because yes, it will save her, but also because it will prove that I'm better than her, and that's also an aspect of Llenn as a character that we need to kind of delve into. And it basically led into this kind of great sequence of like Llenn attacking like Pito Hui and M, and her eventually getting into a kind of disadvantage because Pito Hui comes at her with the big kind of truck vehicle thing, and there's some clever tactics, like Llenn just kind of sprawling out in the ground to go under the car and stuff like that. Then Fukuzero kind of appears out of nowhere because she's kind of recovered since, and she's driving a vehicle of her own, and we get this pretty cool like vehicle action set piece. We get a moment where like Llenn has an opportunity to kind of get the victory in the squad jam, where she does this kind of somersault leap over the top of Pito Hui's car, and they have like an open roof on it, so like she fires in but misses. And the fight basically comes to an end with, well, the episode comes to an end with them basically willing to face off one-on-one. Now, M and Fugazero are still up, and I'm still wondering, will they have a fight between those two or what? Because I was almost expecting the finale of the Pito Hui Llenn fight to happen when they are basically the last two people standing within the game. So M and Fugazero are still in play, and then I think they still, based on the scans, mentioned that there is still one team out there that we don't know about. So I'm sort of wondering, like, will they be any factor in this? Will they come in to interrupt the fight? They'll have to work together to take out this other team, then finish their fight? Or will it be some sort of a thing where, like, Llenn wins, but then she's taken out by this other team coming in, and it's this kind of odd moment of just, like, you expect one of the main characters to win, but they don't. We'll have to see what exactly they go about doing it. The other factor here is that at this point, it seems like it's one-on-one, but Llenn at least doesn't really have any weapons. Like, I think she still has her knife, but is that all she has? Are they going to set up some sort of a special thing for her? Like, does she have a handgun? I'm not sure, because they've always set up that she's not particularly good with other weapons. So I'm waiting to see if there's any sort of, like, special weapon reveal that she has that will kind of come into play. But I'm not exactly sure on that. Similarly, Pito Hui, of course, can use any weapon, and she kind of roughly has a lot of stuff on her, so the fight could still, anything could happen, basically. I'm still not exactly sure of how they'll go about ending it, but I think, for sure, like, it sort of feels predictable that, like, Llenn sort of has to win the fight, and I think it adds into the one bit of character we got from kind of Pito Hui in this episode is that she does have, like, an honest moment with M where she just says that, like, yeah, like, I am actually, like, afraid of dying in real life, but that's what makes this tournament so fun, the fact that I'm fighting because I know that the fear of me dying in the game is that I'll kill myself. I thought that was interesting, but I think that is something that they still need to get into on a just personal, like, mental health level for Pito Hui as a character, that, like, you don't need to do this anymore. And I think Llenn meeting Pito Hui in real life could help that, and I think that's what I'm kind of building towards. That's the scene I want them to get right in the last episode, is whatever way they go about potentially doing that reveal, if it happens in the next episode or not, do Pito Hui and Lenn's relationship well. Everything else just kind of feels like the actual action of the squad jam, who wins, is kind of, to me, secondary to just the kind of character resolution of what's actually going on here. But yeah, I think that's most of what I want to say about this episode. Because it was primarily action, there's not a incredible amount to really talk about, I think. The character stuff in this show I find to be just a little on the light side compared to most anime, but at the same time I can appreciate this show for what it is, in that they're not making it as kind of crazy intense as normal SAO, where the plot is so heavy on the idea of some real world thing affecting the actual game. And in that sense, I almost feel that them adding the extra stakes to this second squad jam have almost kind of taken a little bit away from this, in that I'm so focused on, like, I want some of the character stuff, the plot progression, on the character progression because of what they set up, that I'm almost not as focused on the action, that the fact that it's just the game, because they've suddenly added in a typical SAO element. So that's why I'm, like, so on them resolving that more so than really delving into every detail of the action set pieces and so on. What was here for sure was good. As I said, the photon sword stuff at the start with Pito Hui was excellent, finding out that she sort of has it's not a double-bladed photon thing, but it's like you can transfer the blade from coming out one end to coming out the other. And it's like a certain length, and so I suppose she could have a double-bladed one, but it has two small blades, based on the way she did it, and that she slowly, like, transferred it from pointing, like, out to pointing in and killing the guy. So there's that. And yeah, I hope we get a good epilogue for the second Squad Jam. I think that's the main thing that I want. I think they did the epilogue to the first Squad Jam very well. This one, I think, needs a similar level of kind of focus as well. I think the last episode is called Applause, so I'm not really sure what to make of that in terms of like, that's, in terms of like who specifically is going to be like applauding what happens here. Like, yes, it's a big event and stuff like that, and we saw that Llenn got the applause when she won the first Squad Jam, but in the nature of it being the final episode, why is it called Applause and stuff like that? So, yeah, I enjoyed the episode, but I have my doubts going to the last episode. I hope they give the stuff that's needed, the time that is required to get it done. Just before I end the video, very quickly, I will note that I did get the first volume of the light novel in English, Gun Gale Online. Really surprised with how thick it is. Like, how many pages is this? 294 pages, so really thick. Given just watching the anime and knowing that this covers basically the first Squad Jam, more or less, I was really shocked to see that it's such a thick book to cover what was covered. So there must be a ton of detail on the actual GGO game in here that potentially the anime didn't cover. I'm not sure if I'll do a video on this. Maybe if there is like a lot extra going on in the light novel, I will do a video on it. But just to let you guys know that I have it, I am going to read this. And as I said before, prior to watching the anime, I had the only thing I'd read with GGO was the first volume of the manga, which didn't cover too much, and they took a long time before putting out the second one, which is still a month away, I think. But yeah, that's been my review for episode 11, Psycho Llenn. But that's been my thoughts on the episode. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment below. But yeah, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.